right, so on deck is Brooks McKenzie, then we're having the free beer right now. Please welcome to the stage, Roman Reimer!
Hey everybody, it's really awesome to be in this space.
Welcome back,
Thank you for having me. I was here many years ago, spent a lot of Tuesday nights here, was here during Election Day 2008.
Yes.
People were really excited that day. People were jumping on cars, people were hugging each other, people were screaming, people were saying, yes, the future is going to be great. I'm not here to shit on anyone, it was just a recollection of what happened in this space. And a lot of amazing things have happened here. A lot of great people have shared their thoughts and their words and their hearts and their feelings, and if that were the case everywhere, if everyone had a chance where they could speak their mind, what kind of world would we live in? If everyone could be heard all the time, and have 7 minutes a day just to talk and to have people hear, we might not be in the mess we're in. People wouldn't have to prove themselves with weapons and with fighting. I kind of want to live in that world. I definitely want to live in the world. The world seems really backwards to me. You walk down the street, things don't seem right. It doesn't matter what city you're in. Things don't seem right. Got mass incarceration, they have prisons. I imagine a world without prisons. It might seem foolish to think about that, but I'd rather plant some seeds that don't ever come to flower than have it not happen at all. I'd rather think about it, think about what can we do to make that happen. I think people are afraid of silence. They only use it in the wrong kind of way. People use silence instead of talking about how to take down white supremacy. People would rather not talk about it, and it needs to be talked about. Think about the Israeli military, and if they were to go after neo-Nazis instead of Palestinians, the world might be a lot safer for a lot of people. Think about taking the ego out of everything, taking the ego out of performing, taking the ego out of activism, how to really do things for the greater good. Can we do that? Is that possible? And I get it. I get the idea of wanting to be seen and heard. I want the affection, the laughter, the affirmation. Come into this world, and there's not a lot of that, but come into this world, people tell us who we are, what our names are, who we're supposed to be. There's not a lot of chance to really change that. Imagine a world where that's possible. We might not see it in our lifetime, but again, I'd rather talk about it with this idea that maybe it'll happen maybe generations from now, centuries from now. That is, unless we blow up the world. I actually think the Earth is going to be okay. Humans, not so much. And I feel like it's kind of our fault, to be honest. So are humans going to kill each other, or are we going to kill the planet? I think the planet will win, though. I'm not too worried about the planet. I feel sad. I feel ashamed. The idea is you leave something better than you found it, and that's so rarely the case. How often do you leave a space and it's better than you found it? And I think with the idea with this kind of thing, we put in the energy and we leave it better than we find it.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that every single time this happens, there's a different combination of people, and what that magic that happens with the different personalities and different perspectives. And yes, we all live in our own bubbles. And if we're able to open up and share and listen to each other, that kind of creates a kind of magic that this is happening the one and only time, and this will never happen again. There's something really beautiful about that. It's sad, and it's also really beautiful. And I love coming back here. It's fucking great. It's amazing. If everyone in the world had this opportunity again. It seems the people who talk the most have the least amount to say. And people who have a lot to say don't say anything at all. And I can relate sometimes. I feel afraid, I feel like psychic blocks, or I want to speak, and for some reason I can't get the words out of my mouth, even if I know exactly the right thing to say at the right time. And I feel like that's a very familiar thing for a lot of us. And we're told not to show our emotions, not to talk about how we feel, and I don't know how any way we can evolve unless we talk about how we feel. So right now in the moment, I'm feeling really good and happy because I'm here, but a lot of the time I feel pretty angry and frustrated and sad with the world. I feel really frustrated, and there's a sense of not doing enough, no matter what, and always wanting to do more. And what can we do? And of course, there's a diversity of tactics. There's a lot of ways people can show up. You can show up in the streets. You can share your resources. You can help other people. That's the best way. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, the best thing to do, one good thing to do if you're able, is to help someone else. Then you uplift 2 people. And someone told me that. That's an incredible thing to be able to do and to remember to share. It's really interesting coming back to this space and seeing some familiar faces and some new faces. And again, I feel pretty open about being able to say everything I want to say, and there's always still those blocks. Still those blocks. Yet, you know, the media and all the coverage we hear are just so many lies and so much propaganda and so much fear-mongering and so much hatred. And I like the idea of punching up, especially in comedy. The idea is you make the joke out of the expenses of the oppressive folks, the folks who are doing the oppressing, not to push around other marginalized folks. There's a lot of people, a lot of folks I know who have been attacked, not just in recent months, in their life, and they don't feel safe walking down the street. And it's a privilege to be able to walk out of your house. It's a privilege to even have a house. And it feels really heartbreaking if someone has access to a space, has access to people listening to them. I feel like it's a duty to punch up. So fuck everybody in the White House, all of them. Fuck most of the world leaders. And fuck people who are complicit, who make excuses. Fuck people who victim blame.
Yeah.
Fuck people who want to continue on with stigmas. Whether it's people who have HIV and AIDS, for instance. I can't fucking deal with that. It's about education, and I recognize we all have different experiences. Not everyone has access, and maybe there's a way we can have access and we can talk to each other and learn from each other. That's what we're here for, is to help each other. I don't know any other reason to be here. If someone else is suffering, I don't feel good, even if I am in that moment okay, because it hurts, and I know it's hard. Walking down the street, you walk down 1 block and you see someone who doesn't have enough. They don't have their basic needs being met. Yet the next block, you see someone who has a bit too much. So I think about going beyond wealth redistribution. How about land redistribution? Because no one owns any land. I don't believe in borders. I don't believe in walls. It's funny they got rid of the Borders bookstores. They should have got rid of all the borders. Maybe there was some miscommunication there. Thank you. And I host a podcast called The Weekly Review. Come talk to me afterwards. Thanks.